Tommy Fury beat KSI, but only barely. Keep in mind, Tommy Fury is a professional boxer, while KSI is a YouTuber that does boxing as a side hobby. So why was Tommy not able to dominate KSI? And what did KSI do to stay in the fight? My name is Bryce Wilson. I'm a mental performance coach, and I'll be giving you a full breakdown of both of their mindsets going into and during the fight. To do this, I watched every pre and post-fight interview on both fighters, and here's what I found.
I'm gonna knock you out.
From what I can see across me, you ain't knocking nothing out.
10 seconds into the face-off, and we already get a major look into both of their mindsets going into the fight. KSI says straight off the bat that he's going to knock Tommy out. This is the person who is a severe underdog. He's a YouTuber turned musician who's fighting against a professional boxer with a historic lineage. No one with any boxing knowledge actually thinks KSI has a chance of winning. So how can KSI believe in himself and speak with such confidence? It looks like KSI has been employing a very effective tactic to increase belief in oneself, and that's affirmations. This is definitely not the first time KSI said that he's going to knock Tommy out. In fact, in every pre-fight interview, he said he's going to shock the world and KO Tommy. Because while in the beginning it may have been hard for KSI to truly believe he could beat Tommy, after saying this every day for months on end, he now truly believes it, and that belief is what gives him confidence in the ring. Next is Tommy's response.
I'll be honest with you now, he's a lot smaller of a man than I thought he was.
With his first words of the press conference, Tommy is already underestimating KSI. While you may think this is healthy confidence, this is actually leaning into arrogance. Confidence is trust in your own ability. But when you start belittling others' abilities, that's when it turns into arrogance, because you never know what someone's capable of. KSI is smaller than Tommy, but he's known for being fast and having deceptive power. And as it turns out, KSI did get some good punches in on Tommy.
Every person always puts me as the underdog. And then when I come through and do my thing, they go, oh, I didn't expect that.
This is where KSI gets his confidence from. He's done it before. Ever since his first boxing fight against Joe Weller, where KSI was thought to be this overweight gamer, he's been the underdog and underestimated in every fight. In every fight, he's proven everyone wrong and come out victorious. Self-esteem comes from experience and accomplishment. Although Tommy is right, KSI has never fought anyone with legitimate boxing skill, and definitely no one like Tommy, a pro boxer. He's still confident because he's been in this position before. He's been the underdog, underestimated, counted out, and still comes out on top. So in his mind, why would this be any different?
I've been boxing since I was a kid, mate.
And this is where Tommy gets his confidence from. He's been boxing his whole life. And although we can say the same thing about him, where he hasn't really beat many quality opponents, he's confident because he's been in and around the sport of boxing his entire life. Regardless whether KSI has deceptive speed and power or not. He's probably sparred multiple guys with the same build as KSI, so he's not worried.
I hit like a truck, bro.
How many people would go against a professional boxer and have the confidence to say that? Not many. But he can confidently say that because he speaks like this to himself all the time. This is called self-talk. What words do you tell yourself, especially when you're under pressure? I can't do it. I don't know if I can. I'm horrible, I'm scared. I can tell KSI only speaks to himself in an encouraging way, which is why he has such unwavering confidence in his ability.
Me mum gives harder slaps than you. You're built like a 10-year-old, mate. You got a pair of shoulders this wide.
As for Tommy, he's trash talking to sell the fight, but it's important not to underestimate your opponent and still understand that KSI has the chance to knock him out. If he had that perspective, he'd train harder and focus even more during the match.
No, I'm talking about Tyson, because I've been getting hit off him my whole life.
Cool.
So what makes you think you can do something to me?
Tommy does have a cheat code because his brother is literally the best heavyweight boxer in the world, arguably in history. So whatever damage a boxer says he's gonna do to him, he's had way worse just growing up with Tyson, which gives him unshakable confidence. Even if you don't have the heavyweight champion as your brother, pull from your experiences and difficulties. Whatever you've overcome, you can now use that to your advantage and gain strength going into your next endeavor.
Do something to me.
Tyson doesn't hit hard like people like Wilder and like that.
Guys,
how many times did Wilder drop him?
Who knocked out Wilder? Tyson knocked him out, and they don't know boxing.
This is what I'll say KSI could have done better on, which is research and learning about the sport you're getting into. He's fighting the brother of one of the greatest boxers in history, and he didn't even think to watch Tyson's highlights, because if he did, he'd see that Tyson has knocked out Wilder multiple times. This is the reason KSI fights with such an unorthodox style. He fights like someone fighting on the street, because he probably hasn't researched much about boxing and is just fighting in whatever way he likes. But if you want to be great, you have to learn from and study the greats. If KSI didn't even watch Tyson's fights, I doubt he watched many others, and this puts him at a disadvantage because he doesn't know any of the tricks or strategies of the greatest boxers.
I just like the challenge. I love the challenge.
At least we can agree on one thing. I like the challenge too.
Anyone who achieves anything in life has to fall in love with challenging themselves. Because when you challenge yourself, that's when the improvement and growth happens. Both men have recognized the value of challenging themselves and are both here because of it.
It's a step up, but I'm ready.
KSI doesn't underestimate his opponent, which he kind of has to. It'd be foolish to discount a pro boxer when he hasn't even fought any real fighters himself. But it's important to note that he's not overestimating his opponent either. He's not scared of Tommy just because he's a pro boxer. He said it's a big step up, but he's ready.
You drag anyone out the pub on a Saturday night fight and they can do what you do. They don't know what they're doing. They spar up and down in the gym, they hit the pads and they think they're boxers.
I know it's trash talk, but this puts Tommy in a dangerous place because he has no idea how hard KSI has worked to get here. KSI is pushing himself to the absolute limit every day in preparation for this fight. He's not just saying these outrageous statements with nothing to back it up. He has the confidence to say them because of his work ethic, and he's most likely even outworks Tommy for this camp.
I don't think many, if any, can train the way I do. It's ludicrous, man.
KSI literally got a legacy tattoo for this fight, with the full belief that he'd knock Tommy out.
I mean, that's why I'm getting it tattooed on my back. Legacy, man. That's the most important thing to me. Like, that's why I do everything.
So he's definitely not some random guy from the pub who just wants a quick payday. Tommy doesn't know that though. He only sees KSI's entertainment YouTube channel and his last few fights where he didn't have the best boxing technique. And that's why Tommy had a rude awakening in the ring.
And the reason why I'm so emotional is because I'm changing my family's life. Fight by fight, I'm changing my little daughter's life.
While KSI had his why of legacy, Tommy also had his why of providing for his wife and daughter. Both men had something they were fighting for, and this propelled both men to work insanely hard to be there.
Robbery. It's a robbery, bro. How many jabs did he land? You weren't landing. You weren't landing. Look at your face. Look at your eyes. Huh? Look at you.
This is the biggest area that KSI could improve in. If you want to make it far in life, and especially in sports, you can't be a sore loser. You have to show sportsmanship. This was KSI's first boxing loss, so he didn't know how to take it. And admittedly, it was a close fight, so he had a reason to be upset. But being upset is fine. That just shouldn't stop you from showing respect to your opponent. Having an argument after the fight and complaining about the judges and scoring doesn't do anything but make you look foolish. Take the loss on the chin and handle it with respect. People will respect you, and they'll decide whether it was a robbery or not. This happened to Mayweather in the Olympics, where he obviously got robbed from going to the next round. But he handled it with respect and sportsmanship, and look where he is now. This was the biggest talking point after the fight. How KSI embarrassed himself by being a sore loser.
I've won it, bro. I won it. I got robbed. It's outrageous, bro.
Do you want that rematch?
Bro, I hate losing, man.
You won it. It was a loss because he said he was going to knock out. Control it, KSI, come on.
But by being a sore loser, you embarrass yourself and make it hard for you to take any value from the fight. KSI's reaction shows that he's more focused on the outcome than his performance. I hate losing as well, but if I knew I gave the best performance I could, how could I be mad? It's like that philosophical question, would you rather win and have everyone think you lost, or lose and have everyone think you won? It seems like since KSI is heavily into the social media world, where everything is publicized, he'd rather just have everyone think he won, than actually caring about how he performed. But as everyone who watched could see, he's a YouTuber who picked up boxing as a hobby, and just won a full fight with a pro boxer. That's a win, especially when you throw in that it was a close fight. KSI should be proud of himself and happy with his performance. At that point, who cares whether the judges scored it wrong or right, if you believe in your heart that you gave the best performance you could and won the match. But instead he's focusing on things out of his control, like the refs, the judges' decisions, and his opponent.
You can't be proud about that, man. Ain't no way.
He shouldn't be worried about how his opponent feels after the match. The only question he should be asking is he proud of his performance? If he is, then that's the only thing that matters.
KSI is a sore loser, in my opinion. When you lose, you shake the other man's hand and you just get on with it.
Now, he might just be saying that because he won, and if he lost, he might have been acting differently. But it seems like Tommy has a good sense of perspective. And whether he won or lost, performed great or poorly, he sees the bigger picture of why he's doing it, and that keeps him grounded. Those were Tommy Fury's and KSI's mental strengths and weaknesses, and that's why I think it led to the outcome that it did. But what do you think about the match?